We've all made mistakes. We say that all the time to ourselves and each other as a way to remind us that none of us are perfect or should judge one another. This week, though, I'd like us to reflect a little about those mistakes. As we can learn from our story this week, we should take some time to reflect on them and not just move on and be grateful that it's over. As we take a look at Jonah chapter 2 verses 1 through 10, we meet Jonah inside the belly of the whale praying a great prayer to God for saving him from drowning. Notice how he gives thanks for being saved, but takes no ownership for needing to be saved in the first place. He doesn't reflect on the series of actions and decisions he made. As a matter of fact, in verse 3, he even states, "You threw me into the ocean depths." The way he tells it, it's a case of God brought me to it to get me through it instead of the reality that he brought himself to that place. It's a place I know all too well from my own life. It's that time and place when I awoke on my garage floor with my shotgun laying next to me after not completing suicide. I prayed for the first real time in my adult life at that moment. I was grateful and also very scared to be alive. I prayed a prayer much like Jonah that night. While my face was covered in tears and dirt from that concrete floor, at the time I thought that was it. Things were different now. I'll just move on from here. The reality is I had a lot more reflection and work to do before I would truly realize just how amazing it was to be saved from myself that night. I'd like to introduce that opportunity for you to realize it as well. Take a few minutes to reflect on and discuss the questions that are being provided. Realizing the things we've done and the ways we've been saved have been a blessing in guiding my life and given me an undying gratitude and passion for the salvation offered to us all. Once you get a glimpse of just how incredible God's grace in the midst of our mistakes is, it's just not something that you can keep to yourself. I have the blessing of meeting people who make all kinds of mistakes, real mistakes with very real life consequences. What we usually realize together is that there's a pattern of some kind in place. We see where choices of selfish desires repeatedly lead to mistakes being made. They all finally seem to culminate to where they are looking to be saved from the grips of dire consequences over and over. It's not until we see that pattern of ourselves that we can see what real changes need to be made. Jonah gets spit out of the whale's mouth and onto dry land safely, but if he doesn't stop running, he's just going to need another rescue. Until he finally realizes what is at the root of his issue, it's just going to keep showing up in behaviors and choices he makes, and we all see where that leads. Take a few minutes to talk about some root issues that lead to repeat actions and choices in your lives. The provided questions will help guide you.